Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thank You for Coming, or as I like to say, thank you for coming to Thank You for Coming. I'm your host, Mike Carr, and I am it's a bit of a bittersweet episode today. Before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody at 2MB Studios for putting on this show every week. Thanks to all of you out in the chat who are getting the conversation going. We're going to need you to be pretty active in the chat because we're going to get a bunch of suggestions today because it's not just two people today. It's a lot of people today. So you can start throwing in suggestions for locations right now. Oh, let me see. Amy Claire Parker. I'm so happy. $23 bottle of wine. Dude, that is a pricey bottle of wine. Like, I don't go above 11 and I don't even drink wine. So I'm glad you cracked open that $23. Is it a Sutter Home? It's definitely not the one with the kangaroo on it because that's the cheap one that we buy at our house. But that's awesome. Crack open your favorite beverage. I may have a beverage myself because when I watched shows at 40 Prospect Street, I would have a delicious night shift beer, and that's what I'm drinking right now in honor of our dear 40 Prospect Street, which we learned this week that ImprovBoston is letting go of that space. But this is not, there's a lot of mourning, a lot of sadness, but this is a celebration of that. We are celebrating that space. So tonight's guests are people who just wanted to come in and do a little bit of improv, and thankfully we're in the theater right now. So this is how the show is going to work tonight. I have a waiting room, a green room full of hungry, talented improvisers who are all ready to come out and do some scenes for you. So how it'll work, I will give them a suggestion of the locations that you're throwing out into the chat, which is all great. Keep those coming. I'll grab one of those randomly. That'll be their suggestion for a scene. They'll do a short scene. Every one of these scenes starts with the phrase, "Thank you for coming." And then they'll do their scene. When their scene is over, we'll chat a little bit. They might share a thought about 40 Prospect, and then they'll go away. And two brand new improvisers will come and take the stage and do a scene. Same basic premise. Location, thank you for coming. That's how it works. I can see the improvisers. They're all playing Zip Zap Zop right now. They're warming up in their own way. It's fun. Yep, it happened. I said it, and three of them did it. Yeah. And surprisingly, it worked. That's how good these improvisers are. It was perfect. So we're going to get the show started with our first two improvisers. Oh, and you should also know the improvisers backstage, they don't know who they're playing with. That's another part of the show, is you never know who your scene partner is. Usually it's players that have never met before. A lot of these people have probably met in some way, but they don't know who their scene partner is going to be until they both appear on the screen. So we're going to get it started with two sceners. Sceners, that's a new thing for an improv term. All right, great. So this first one is going to be in a car that's doing donuts. That's our location. We're in a car that is doing donuts, and I'm going to bring up a couple improvisers. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm really glad. I really needed a ride, so I'm just glad that nobody else said that they would pick me up. So thank you. I'm really glad that somebody came and picks me up.
Hey, I don't care as long as you understand Rodney's gonna do his donuts in the morning. We're good.
Yep, I understand that now. Like you said, oh yeah, I'll pick you up for work and we'll have donuts. And I said, oh perfect, I love Dunkin', but no,
yeah,
these kind of donuts.
Just a slight difference means a totally different thing. Hold on, I'm gonna hit us with a couple more G's. Woo! Yeah! That's how you wake up in the morning. That's how Rodney wakes up in the morning. Good morning, Target. Good morning. How you doing, Target parking lot? Okay.
Oh my God.
You okay? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm awake. I can always count on you to jazz me up when I need it. I've been feeling kind of, blah about work lately, but now I'm all energized, I think.
Yeah. Well, how come you're feeling blah about working? Hold up 1 second. We're gonna do a couple more donuts. Hey, how come you feeling blah about work?
It's mostly just because I feel like I'm stuck in the same routine every day. I take the same bus to work. I sit at the same desk and I type the same files, and it's just getting really tedious, and I feel like I'm in a rut.
Well, have you tried, maybe reinventing yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I guess that's something that I could consider doing. I feel like I'm reinventing all of my insides right now.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
No,
all
no,
right.
it's great. This is thrilling.
Well, not so long ago, old Rodney wasn't as cool as the man you see right now,
What? No, you've been
Yeah.
cool ever since I've known you.
Well, Rodney wasn't always the cool, hot-rodded donut man you see before you. I was stuck in a rut myself, too.
No.
Yeah. And then one day I was at the Target parking lot, and I turned left, and I didn't stop turning left. And then the inside of me turned into something else.
From all the donuts?
Maybe there's some brain damage. I don't know. But something happened.
Well, yeah, because ever since I met you at Danny's party, you've always been this person who's just like so cool and collected, and like you seem to know where you're going even when you don't, and like you just have it together. I can't imagine you've ever been anything else.
Well, I'm just saying, all you got to do sometimes is pick a direction and take that turn, and who knows where you'll end up.
Do you think maybe we could go left?
Maybe you could take the wheel this time. Here you go.
Oh my gosh. I've never seen a car that does this before. This is the coolest thing.
It's a very special car, very special car.
I might not go to work. Can we just, is it all right if we just stay and drive your car all day?
I mean, I've been waiting for someone to say those words to me my whole life. I never want to leave this donut car.
Buckle up, buddy. We're turning left. Here we go.
Boom. Well, oh, it was Jess cashing the whole time. Jess and Chris, I don't know. Do you know each other? I don't know if you do or not.
Oh, from QAW a little bit.
From QAW, yeah.
Like peripherally.
For QAW.
Awesome. What a fun scene. That was amazing. What a way to kick this show off. I don't know if you're watching the chat, but you have some. This is art, first of all. It was. People were glad, Jess, that you were on a soft surface. And some people are convinced you've done bread donuts before. Right there, you have done donuts. Awesome. Thank you both so much for doing the show. How did that feel to just do a scene out of nowhere with someone you don't really know that well?
So good.
Yeah, it was
so
nice. I've like seen you so much, and you're so funny, Jess, and I never ever got to improvise with you or anything before, so it's so cool to like have some kind of interaction with you. It's nice.
I know, it's so nice, yeah, because we a little bit know each other through QAW, but I've never really properly done anything before. So this was very fun. This is very fun.
That was awesome.
Nice. So the sad news about 40 Prospect, obviously very sad. Do you have anything you'd like to say about 40 Prospect, to honor it?
Oh, gosh.
You don't have to. I'm not putting you on the spot. Like the show won't move on until you do. No.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, 40 Prospect Street has basically been home for me for the last 5 years. I feel like a lot of us kind of compare it to our Cheers, where you can always walk into 40 Prospect, or even the Field, which is basically 40 Prospect also. And almost guaranteed you're going to find somebody who you can hang out with and laugh with and chat with. And I've met so many amazing, wonderful, supportive people who I know I will continue to be very close with for years after 40 Prospect is no longer ours. So it is very, very sad to lose a theater that meant so much to a lot of us, but in truth, it was the people who made that theater so great. So we're not losing those people yet.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I've been gone for a while. I've been gone for 4 years. And when I was there, so much fun, obviously, echoing everything you said. But I got a chance in January to come back and do a show on the studio stage with my old, Studio 40 team. And I'm so glad I got to do that. And it was oh yeah, oh, you're in town, come on stage, play, people are so cool and just so willing to accommodate and stuff. And I got to go to the Field after, and it felt like old times. So yeah, I'm going to miss that a lot.
Awesome. Thank you both for doing the show. It was really great to see you both. Super fun scene. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. A fantastic scene. So now we're going to get another location. Here we go for our next two scenes. Oh, man. You know what? The magic of a chocolate factory. That sounds fantastic. So we're heading to a chocolate factory.
Hey, thank you for coming. This is the chocolate factory. We make chocolates and chocolate accessories.
Hope you're not a dog.
Who gave you the idea that I might or might not be a dog?
No one, and I know I'm supposed to be taking this seriously. It's just difficult.
Okay, but like that's a little bit concerning. I might need to pass you off to another person who. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, hang on a moment. I'm gonna get you another person.
Thank you. I'm so glad you can help me. This is a dangerous situation for you. How old are you in people years? I don't know. Don't eat anything. Is there a person available?
Meow.
Oh, man. Cat. Man, I'm mildly allergic to you.
Meow.
Yeah. I don't know. I really am going crazy, aren't I?
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome. No. Nope. Man, I wish I wasn't allergic to you. I wish I didn't have the allergies, period.
Hi, I'm a Sphinx cat. I'm hypoallergenic.
Great, thank you. Now we're going. Now we're back to...
Cool, so chocolate.
Yeah.
So first we're going to have you sign this form that certifies that you're not a dog before you set foot in the factory.
Okay. I don't want to break any of the rules.
Yeah. Then we're gonna do the little mandatory COVID test. You're gonna sign this thing that says whether you have COVID or not.
Well, this certainly sounds like me. You know what's on here. But no, I can taste stuff.
Good. We also don't let people in who can't taste stuff. Kind of.
Oh, yeah. Well done. Thank you so much. Oh, I love that it was like an existential dog and cat in a chocolate in a chocolate factory world. I loved that change. What a character switch. That was great work. Super fun. So Ainsley, am I saying that right? Aisling, sorry. Aisling,
okay.
Thank you so much for doing the show. This was a blast. So how was it? Have you been doing a lot of improv online, especially with people maybe you don't know? What was the experience like for you in this brief scene that we just did?
So I really haven't done improv before. Like I've done some stand-up, but this is my first time doing improv. Like my improv experience is limited to dealing with hecklers.
Oh wow, that's very that's a challenge to deal with. How would you what experience do you use when you're dealing with hecklers? Do you bring into like an improv scene? What might help?
Basically, being smarter than them.
All right. Oh, fantastic. How about you, Carrie? what's your experience with Improv Boston in general?
Oh, I mostly do stand up, but I kind of start because I moved from Michigan to Boston, and I had done stand up in Michigan a little bit, but like Improv Boston was where I took my first class and kind of, I guess you could say, cemented my whole shtick. And yeah.
Very cool. I love that we essentially two stand-up comics stepping into the world of improv. It's always wonderful to see. So in terms of saying goodbye to 40 Prospect, did you play there a lot? Did you work there a lot? What would you say to 40 Prospect as it leaves our world?
Well, it was always such a warm, welcoming place, and I never, I'm a pretty awkward person, but it was never, never felt afraid walking in those doors. So I really appreciate it a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ashley, anything you'd like to add about 40 Prospect at all?
I've literally never set foot in there, and that's probably the saddest part of this for me.
Oh, no.
Back when I was working as a recycling collector back in 2018, I'd go past there all the time to pick up the recycling bins around there. But obviously I can't just leave my truck by the curb to go play improv games or watch a show or anything.
If you walked in that space and you're like, hey, everyone, I left my truck outside. Is that cool? Everyone in that building would be like, yeah, that's fine. That's totally, we're cool with that.
Yeah, see, okay, now I'm finally starting to learn how improv works.
Yeah, we say yes to everything. It's fantastic.
See,
Well,
yeah,
Garrett,
if I'd known that ages ago, then I probably would have left the truck behind.
awesome. Well,
Somebody else could pick it up.
I really appreciate it. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Great teamwork. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, friends. Oh, I brought you back on by mistake. There we go. I brought you back. I'm a mess right now. All right, let's get another suggestion. We got a couple more improvisers waiting in the wings. Let's see where we're going to go. Oh, a Rhode Island Airbnb. Here we go. Thank you for
Thank you for coming. I can't hear you, sir.
Pardon? Oh, you can't hear me?
Okay, yeah, you've raised your voice. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
for coming.
For coming.
Hold on.
Hold on.
You got this.
I can do this.
You got this.
You got this. Thank you for coming to.
Thank you.
No. Yes.
I put up this home for Airbnb. Who the hell are you?
I've been squatting in your basement.
You've been squatting in my basement. That explains why all of my tenants were complaining about a ghost. It was you, wasn't it?
Look, sometimes I get a rumbly in my tumbly and someone catches me, and, well, frankly, the easiest way to get away is pretending to be a ghost.
Sir, you can't just squat in somebody's house. This is my income.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I really thought that thanking you for coming to here was going to work.
You thought that?
I really thought I could trick you out of the house. I've been working on this for a while.
That's sad.
Can I keep going with my plan?
Do you want to try again?
I'm going to keep going.
You want to try again?
Thank you for coming to this Airbnb.
No, I don't believe it.
Look out. There's a man here who's a ghost
home.
who thinks he's the owner. But he's been dead for 25 years.
I'm right here. I'm very alive.
Why, sir, you look just like the owner who died here 25 years ago.
You're bringing up my dad, aren't you? You're bringing up my dad, and it's not cool.
Yes. But also, look,
he left me this house.
Look, I feel bad about this.
Yeah, you squatted in my basement, scared away my tenants, and now you're referencing my late father as an excuse to make up a ghost.
Is it working?
No, it is not working.
Are you sure?
I am positive. Moments away from calling the police. Why don't you vacate immediately?
But, son, don't you recognize?
No, that is even more tasteless. That is.
I've been living in the basement because I couldn't bear to see you grow up.
Or get out. Get out. Get out. I was planning on this income to pay my own mortgage this month, and now I'm out for the month.
Well, I feel like a real heel.
Yeah. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Max.
Yeah. I've never had so much chemistry with somebody I've never met before.
I have never met this man, and yet I feel like I've known him for 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just blown away that you both just right off the bat, it felt so natural for both of you.
Yeah. Max, my name is Mark Camposano.
I'm Max Kreisky. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
God.
That was fun.
Yeah, look, I mean, even in the chat, people are like blown away.
Oh, yes. What can we say?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you just got it. If we had met before this, I bet we could have had just great on-stage chemistry.
Yeah. And done a lot of things together that were real dumb.
I'd like to.
Yeah, let's imagine that. Like, let's just say that the two of you did have a show.
Yeah.
And maybe you performed at Improv Boston at 40 Prospect at some point in your imaginary lives. How would you, imaginarily, of course, look back on that right now?
I've got 2 ideas.
Right.
I've got 2 ideas.
Okay. Pitch them.
One would be like, what's this candle? What's its inner monologue like? Like what's
something maybe like, oh, Mark, please don't burn me. I'm in love with you. I don't know. Something along those lines.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I think Max would make a great mad scientist.
Well, I've been told that before.
Yeah.
Maybe something like along the lines of, I have created some kind of problem in the past, and now I have to go back in time.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But just spitballing. And if we had known each other, we might have met. I don't know, maybe in the classes doing Yap. What if when we met years ago, hypothetically 8 years ago, we did a scene where one of us was pretending to be Willy Wonka and the other one was pretending to rip off Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
And afterwards, we had such a fun time. And afterwards, one of us tried to talk to the other per one, but was so awkward that he just made a lot of puns. And say the other one, let's say Mark is saying this thing was said to me, perhaps would have said, Max, you're so funny on stage. That would have been a great way to start a friendship.
What a rude thing to say, but to start an incredible friendship.
Imagine.
I know, tremendous.
Yeah. And if that is how it started, wow.
Yeah.
I don't imagine how could they make it 8 years if that was a real relationship.
Yeah. Maybe it's not a great offer to start an imaginary relationship here.
We'll see. In closing, do you have anything you'd like to say before we move on to our next duo? Anything about 40 Prospect?
If it weren't for 40 Prospect, I don't think I would have met my fiance, most of my best friends, be where I am at all. I'm really grateful for the place and and all the people I've met there, or might have hypothetically met there.
Yeah. When I once left IB because I moved away for a year, and I wrote on the beam downstairs after being on Viceroy for a year and a half with not this guy. I wrote, "This is a good place," and that is still absolutely true. I'm going to show up on Wednesday and probably cry. But I made some great friendships. If I had known Max, I'm sure we would have been amazing friends. And I have IB, if I had been friends with Rachel, that would have been great too, but that never panned out. So thanks for doing this, Mike.
Yeah,
of course. You. Mark, Max, thank you so much. I hope that you continue this brand new friendship.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if I believe them. All right. We're going to move on to our next scene. We're going to a deli counter. Here we go. Who's it gonna be?
Thank you for coming. I'm really happy you're here to observe my deli making skills. I've been really looking up to you as chief deli master for my whole time here so far.
Well, it's very important that you slice the meat correctly, and I don't want you to feel intimidated by me. You know,
No, I mean, I stare at your picture every single day as I slice meat, but I will
as
not
you
be
should.
intimidated.
It's very prominently displayed over there. Yeah. Look, Stacy.
Yeah.
I think I see you've got spunk. You know, you've got something. You know, you're new. You're getting there.
Yeah.
But you know, when I look around and I see all the other dipshits working behind this deli counter, I'm like, that girl, Stacy, she's not a dipshit. She's a girl just trying to do a job. So show me what you got.
Okay, here's my wide variety of spreads of different kinds of level of thickness of meat, but can I ask you something personal, please?
Maybe.
Okay. Sometimes
try me.
When I slice the meat, I like whisper my hopes and dreams into it. Like, oh, you're the thinnest piece of meat, and someday I will be in the position of power where I want. Oh, you're the fattest piece of meat, and someday I will have fat funds in the bank. Do you ever wish upon the meat?
Well, I like to think of myself as being kind of the fattest piece of meat around these parts, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like if you take a bunch of thin pieces of meat like you, and you just let them...
Just doing its job, getting there, being a coggle wheel, but happy about it.
Making a sandwich, you know, you don't need a big piece of meat to make a sandwich. You can use a lot of little pieces. Are you following what I'm saying, Stacy?
I'm following you. I'm following you so hard, so fast.
Stacy, are you about to cry?
Yeah.
Okay, this has happened to me before. This has happened to me before.
Oh my God, I'm sure it has. You're so cool.
This happened to me before. Look, Stacy.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is you can achieve your hopes and dreams. You can be the head of a deli counter at a Vons. You can do other stuff too. Like, I gotta tell you something. I have hopes and dreams, and they're not all being a deli supervisor.
But you're so good at it. You're so cool. You're so masterful.
Maybe I want to work in seafood, Stacy. Maybe I want to work in seafood.
Do you want to leave?
And leave you behind?
You'd be moving on to bigger things for you and giving me room to grow.
I guess we still see each other, you know? I mean, I'd probably hang out with all my shrimp and tilapia friends. But, you know, all the shrimp mongers and stuff.
Instead of this hierarchy between us, perhaps we could view each other as peers.
Perhaps similarly sliced cuts of meat.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I'm going to continue slicing now.
Okay, this is really intense. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Wow. Yeah. Lauren and Meg, have the two of you, unlike our previous duo who have never met before, what is you two, I feel like you've known each other and worked together before.
We do know each other.
Yeah. We both were, I'm in LA now, but Lauren was in LA for a while, as you guys all know, and we were on a musical improv team together. Knew each other before that as well. So.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we're on other sides of the country.
That's true.
So how was it randomly getting put together to play? How did it feel?
It was so nice seeing Meg. It was
so
nice seeing
Lauren too, yeah.
What's the feeling like in a show like this? Because, you know, a lot of times in live improv shows, it's like, oh, I can see the people I'm going to play with. But in this one, it's like, I don't know who it's going to be. So what were your feelings when you saw each other come up on the screen?
You go, Meg.
Oh, it was just a nice little relief because I was like, okay, I know exactly what to expect doing a scene with Lauren. Like, I know I'm going to be taken care of. So.
Yeah, I know, like, Meg's going to go along if I do a silly voice right from the start. Like, and it's probably going to go into some kind of emotional inner thought feeling kind of play because we also both like doing that.
Nice. So 40 Prospect, the theater itself, the physical space is going to be no longer with ImprovBoston, and that's sad. But what are some thoughts that you either of you have about that space as we say goodbye to it?
It is interesting because we both had left. I had left because I thought I would be living permanently in California, and then Dan and I decided to come back, and I'm sure Meg went through this as well when she left. Like, you felt like, okay, I'm saying goodbye. But then every time you visit, you're like, oh, this is my home space. It's sad to lose this space, but I think that we as Improv Boston, as a community, we're going to find a new space to establish a new home. But it's always a nice place to think about that we had.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, it just sort of always had in the back of my mind, like, oh, I can always go back there and see my friends, and there'll be, new people, but I'll still run into the same folks. And so it's sad that it's not there anymore. And I'm just sad for all the people where it was, still. I mean, it's been 4 years since I lived in Boston, but I know it's so important to so many people these days too. So.
You know what? I'm going to miss that window, sitting in that window, but I bet we're going to get a new window someday. But I will think of that window. That was a fun place to improvise in.
All right. Well, Lauren and Meg, thank you so much for joining the show tonight. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. We are going to move along. But before we do, Amy Claire Parker, I want to check in. First of all, how's your bottle of wine going? It must be going well because you think that I should be an anchor on Good Morning America. Well, that's a very nice thing of you to say. And because of that suggestion, I'll tell you what our next location is going to be. It's going to be inspired by that. This location is a live studio audience. That's the suggestion of the location where our next scene takes place. A live studio audience.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Oh, that is not coffee, that's straight rum.
I give that to all the guests.
I'm in a program. I gotta call my sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, we can call them later on the air if that's something you want to do. Or not. Tell us about the book.
Oh, the book. Oops, I'm sorry I hit your dog. Just hit bookshelves right on March 13th. So book sales are kind of low right now because we only went hardcover and they didn't pick up on Kindle. So
expensive hardcovers. Mm-hmm. I use them as smaller coffee tables on top of my coffee table. They're sturdy.
Oh, so you have multiple copies. That's fantastic. I appreciate it. So doesn't my wife in the alimony payments I'm sorry, ex-wife. I have to pay her. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love it when we can talk about families on this show.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, how things with you? You
Oh, guests never ask me how I am. Am I right,
everybody? No, seriously, Whitney, what's your deal?
It's not great. It's not great, Doug.
Ooh, let's unpack that.
You're really turning the interview around on me. So Kevin left. My cat. He's permanently outdoor now. He moved to my neighbor's house. I've tried to get him back and he refuses to come. Won't come when I call him.
That's tough. That must be tough.
It's really tough.
What you could do, it's okay. I understand. And what you got to do is you have to confront, and this is covered in my book. This is covered in my other book. Oops, my cat left me because I feed him for 3 days. That is on pamphlets at a supermarket right by the News Weekly Bat Boy articles.
I've always just been looking at the Bat Boy articles. I never even thought to look next to it. All the answers are there.
I'm really good at helping people with problems. I'm really bad at marketing.
Doug, that rum was mine. I had the mug full of rum.
I think we have a breakthrough. I think this is the first step. If there's anything you would want to say to Kevin, what would you like to say to him right now?
Kevin, I'm sorry I tried to feed you rum. That one time when we were having a lovely movie night. I'm sorry that I showed you Outward Bound. That may be where you got some ideas. Homeward Bound. I can't even.
Well, Whitney, Whitney, I have something to tell you. We have Kevin backstage, right? Come on, Kevin.
Kevin.
Come on, Kev. Come on. Kevin.
Meow.
Oh, yeah.
Whitney, that was fantastic.
Oh, so fun. Whitney and Doug, thank you both. Do you know each other? Have you ever met before?
No, I don't think so.
Never.
Oh, it finally worked. In this
Yeah.
I accidentally paired up people who've known each other for years, and this time it didn't. So yay. For Doug and Whitney, thank you so much. It's wonderful, Doug, to meet you, and Whitney to see you again. It's so nice. So you've never met. How'd that feel? Because it was a great scene. It was really fun.
That was fun. That did bring back some old jam memories.
Oh no, definitely. So I haven't done improv in about 15 years. So that was like super fun. But I have been doing like D&D podcasts, so it's a little. So I kind of cheated. So by Breathing Kittens podcast, if anybody's interested, just
very cool. Yeah, definitely plug your show. Plug it. So you said you haven't done improv in 15 years, like traditional improv in this sense. You said, right?
I usually did. I did short form with Rebels Without a Cause. Giovanni Elviso is it. Barbara Kremen was in it. R.I.P. A bunch of friends were that I just. It came born pretty much of like I wanted to do improv, but I didn't want to do it on stage yet. I wasn't familiar with it, and my friend Barbara had a group that she had just people come and play, and that born onto an improv group that shared the stage at IB a few years.
Very cool. And was that at 40 or was that
that was at 40? I did more than anything. I did the naked comedy show a lot. ImprovBoston, and Andy O'Feish is a god for putting that together because that was one of the most unique and fantastic experiences of my life. I had a random drunk woman get on stage, tell a bunch of canned jokes, but you got to be naked to tell jokes. So they went backstage, got naked, told a bunch of canned jokes. Everybody loved it because she was a woman. Comes backstage. I'm still naked because I'm just watching the show. She gives me a hug. We're both still naked. And I'm like, that's very awkward. And this will never happen anywhere else ever. So
ImprovBoston bringing naked people together. That's But ImprovBoston was so much more than just nakedness. It was actually people home. So Whitney, you have been a part of ImprovBoston for several years, correct?
Yeah, like 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
And you were the director of the family show, a beautiful show, wonderful show.
Yeah.
And what are some memories that you have of 40 Prospect as we're saying goodbye to just the space?
Yeah. I mean, I started at IB when I just moved up here from Philly and didn't know anybody and was hanging out with my cat too much and just kind of never left. And went through a phase of probably being there 6 to 7 nights a week, probably around Gorefest time, as a performer and a director. And it was a really, really wonderful place. Like I probably napped there before, but at one point had more stuff in the green room than I did in my apartment. I should probably go look for some stuff down there. It was such a wonderful place. And I'm really looking forward to what comes next.
Yeah.
Because it's the people for sure.
Very true.
Yeah. I would like to add to that. Gorefest was I took part in it a bunch of years ago and it was super fun. Very sticky.
Yes.
Very sticky, but super. It was just like probably one of my favorite times at IB. Was doing Gorefest.
I had the honor of doing Gorefest last year under the direction of Whitney, who is a phenomenal director, who kept that show, she kept it tight, kept it going fast, kept us in line. So, Doug, the fact that you were saying you haven't done improv in a long time, you couldn't have been in better hands than with Whitney. She is fantastic, an expert. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Love you both. Bye-bye. All right, friends. We're reaching that point. Before I bring out our next group, I want to tell you a little bit about what's happening after this. Got a great show called, I'm going to say this hopefully correctly, Glitty Litter. That's right. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. Glitty Litter. It is a super fun improv show. A couple of very special guests are going to be on that show. Rachel Vaughn and Hannah Breen are both going to be on that show. It is at 8 o'clock, right after the show. So make sure you stick around and watch Glitty Litter. It's like kitty litter, but with a GL. And it's going to be super fun and super great. Before we get to that, there's going to be something also super fun and super great. It's going to be a scene that's taking place in a mud hut. The scene in a mud hut.
Thank you for coming.
You are so welcome.
Listen, no, you.
I just wanted to say that your requesting of my presence here in this steamy location, I am so happy to be able to provide my presence to you.
Thank you. I'm not gonna lie. I need a lot of life guidance. Talk to the guys at work. They said I need to come to a mud hut. I need to pray for like 4 hours straight, and then she'll appear. So thank you for coming. I have many questions about my life.
Ah, I see. Well, before I guess you ask your questions, I did just want to preface by saying that I already know more about you than I think you realize.
You know about me.
Yes, well, you summoned me, and I can that connection, that aura of you summoning me, has infused my body with your essence. So I know more about you than you realize.
You know my secrets?
Oh, yes. I know that you like to eat dry pasta at midnight.
So crunchy.
Don't have to cook it.
It just has a texture that like no other food has. It's like dry lasagna noodles. But no one accepts that.
Oh, I accept you. Because your essence is now part of me, so I now also, at midnight, will be craving raw lasagna noodles.
I mean, but that's just like the start of my secrets. Like, like the ones that are worse than that. Like the ones that involve like me as a child, and the fact that when I was little, I wanted to grow up to be, you know what I wanted to grow up to be.
Yes, you wanted to grow up to be someone who blows bubbles at Disneyland.
I mean, like, it's an art. Like, I don't want to be an accountant. Microsoft Excel is boring. Bubbles are fun. No one will disrespect you when you say bubbles are fun, but if you say my job is making bubbles fun, now no one wants you. You don't get a 401k with bubble art. It just doesn't happen.
It doesn't, but you so desperately still want it to happen. I can feel.
It's in
I
my
can
soul.
feel bubbles wanting to pop inside of you.
They're just in there. You think it's indigestion, but no, it's a love of the art of soap bubbles.
Yeah.
No, go. You know about me. You should go.
I was going to finish your sentence for you, but I suppose I should let you speak.
I mean, now I feel like I don't even need to ask the questions I was going to ask. I feel like you just tell me the answers, I'll just know what they mean.
Well,
like that. What should I?
Oh, I think you can make a career out of a bubble artist at Disneyland.
I hope that's true.
I think it is. I worked there for a while. I do think people did that. I mean, Max wants to live in a world where you can get a 401k for doing that. I couldn't blame him. Oh, so wonderful. Kat and Dan, have you two ever improvised together?
I don't think so.
No.
I have appreciated Kat on the baking show frequently, but and also got to see her be a copyright lawyer last night, which brought me great joy. But we have never done improv together.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, Kat, for those of you, if you're not watching the baking show, you should be, if for no other reason than for Kat's undying love of mayonnaise.
The characters of the show's undying love of mayonnaise. No asterisk there.
Yeah, the character. So it's not personal. It's a character thing. I respect that. I'm sorry for being incorrect. So this was your first time playing together. It was great. It was so much fun to watch. How'd it feel?
I felt so supported, and I love the game that we sort of jumped into, where you just immediately justified everything so well, with such a joy to play with.
It was so much fun. The second I saw your face, I was like, yes. And I just like Lauren just said in the chat, like your characters are great, whether they are exaggerations of yourself or completely different people. And it's just, I was like, I am very glad I get to do improv with Kat at 40 Prospect in some way.
Yeah. The fact that you can make mayonnaise look so delicious is a testament to your character work. So as we say goodbye to 40 Prospect, do either of you have anything in your mind or in your heart that you want to share about 40 Prospect?
I mean, people have said it, but it's a building. It's a building that we'll all miss. It's a building we all have lots of great memories of. Like Lauren, I too will miss the window. I remember a horrible time in ImprovBoston's history when there was no window, and then suddenly there was, and it was great. But it's the memories we have. It's the friends we made, whether they're made in the lobby or on stage. And we'll be able to do that at whatever space comes next. And that's the thing that's comforting, is that we'll still all be there for each other.
Absolutely.
I think for me, I've only been at IB, I guess, for 3-ish years. I probably should have thought about that before logging into this. But there was still so much of the space that I didn't experience. Mostly in the depths of the basement, doors that I had never seen open before and probably never will now. But I certainly have taken lots of photographic memories of people on the stages over the years, which again aren't going to, yeah. And I mean, those aren't going to go away. The people aren't going to go away. The memories aren't going to go away. Honestly, the thing I'm most sad about, or not sad, but maybe concerned about, is having the next location, because there will be a next location, being so convenient to where I work. Because it was really nice to be able to, after a long work day, just pop over to IB and see whatever show was on stage that night, and see people and familiar faces and new faces.
All right. Kat and Dan, thank you so much for being here. You both were great. Awesome to see you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. That is it. That was our last pair of the night. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming. We always love to see such great numbers and such an active chat. And of course, tonight was a special night because we were having a moment to say goodbye to 40 Prospect. I can't say it better than anyone else has already said it. It's a building. It's a space. And it's a very beautiful building and space. But the people that within it and the memories that were made within those walls, that's what's carrying forward. So to everyone who was here tonight, everyone who's in the chat, everyone watching at home who was just watching quietly, thank you so much for being here. We'll be back next week. We got 2 more improvisers who've never met who are going to play together next week. And I will sign off by saying 40 Prospect Street. Thank you for coming.